and I forget. Teach me and I remember. Involve me and I learn. Famous words from Benjamin Franklin, the real source of motivation and great visionary. Good morning to all. I'm Dia Parveen from SHMTV HSS Edavanna. Respected scholars, experienced hands, enchanting headmission, and dear young learners. Good morning, everybody. Today is a special day for us, and we are going to unfold an exciting program, Lab 32, Language Acquisition Program. It's titled as Gem 2, Grammar Easily Managed. Yes, language is amazing experience in human life and remarkable gift from Almighty. Prayer should always be our first response to every situation. Now, I invite Fatima Nida from GVHSS Paioli to whisper the prayer. Nida, please.
You are with me wherever I go. Every moment you're letting me close. You're always there, close by my side. You are there, oh Lord, both day and night. You are there, oh Lord, both day and night. You were with me in my mother's womb. You are with me in my days of gloom. You help me stand against your lords, and you fill me with your strength, O Lord. You are with me wherever I go. Every moment your life in me flows. You're always there, close by my side. You are there, oh Lord, both day and night. You are there, oh Lord, both day and night.
Thank you, Nida, for your wonderful prayer. And it's my pleasure to invite SS Bhagya from GHSS Devanur to render welcome speech. Bhagya, please.
Good morning, everyone. How are you? Hope you guys are doing well. I'm Bhagya from GHSS Devanur. It gives me immense pleasure to deliver the welcome speech. English Graduates Association is doing such a great job by conducting Language Acquisition Program, LAB. LAB helps us so much to enhance our English language skills. This is the 32nd session of LAB and it is named as GEM, Grammar Easily Managed. Gem means a precious stone. It also means good and valuable. I'm so sure that just like Gem, today's session will be so good and valuable for our time. I'm so pleased to welcome the chief guest and the inaugurator of the session, Sri E.K. Suresh Kumar Sir, the former Deputy Director of Education, Kozhikode. He initiated many projects like SAVE, Student Army for Vivid Environment, which is an environmental educational project. He has written many poems which were very interesting ones and they are published in Poem Hunter. He now works as the principal at Vedavyasa Vidyapeetham near Koilandi, Kozhikode. With great honor and respect, I welcome you at this program. I'm so happy to welcome the resource person of this session, Sri T.P. Johnson Sir. Johnson Sir is the SRG State Resource Person and an eminent English teacher. He has undergone many courses and he had just completed a course from Regional Institute of English, Bangalore. A warm welcome to this program, sir.
Thank you.
I'm so honored to welcome the backbone and the coordinator of this session, Sri Vadekandi Narayan sir. Welcome, sir.
Thank you, Bhagya.
I would like to welcome the anchor of this session, Dia Parveen from SHMGVHSS Idavanna. Welcome, Dia. Now I would like to welcome Fatima Nida from GVHSS Paioli, who made a heavenly atmosphere here with her prayer. Welcome, Fatima. Let me welcome Nivedas Kumar from AUPS Udanur Central, who is going to deliver the vote of thanks. Welcome, Nived. At last but not least, I welcome all the students, teachers, and parents. Welcome, everyone. Once again, I welcome all of you to this session. Thank you.
Thank you, Bhagya. Now, I would like to invite our great and respected Mr. Vadayakandi Narayanan Sir, the person behind our program, for presidential address. Sir, please.
Thank you, dear. Respected ones and dears. Today we have reached the 32nd episode of our LAP Language Acquisition Program by English Graduates Association. First of all, let me congratulate the anchor for Dia Parveen and the person who rendered the prayer, Fatima Nida, and the person who welcomed the gathering, SS Bhagya, and the person who is going to deliver the word of thanks, Nived S. Kumar. Today we have got an eminent person for inaugurating this program, Mr. E.K. Suresh Kumar, sir. He was the former DD of Kozhikode, Deputy Director of Education, Kozhikode, and he has chalked out many a program which was which attracted the attention of the media or the people and the education department. And now he is working as a principal at another institution. And he is a great poet also. His many poems are published in Poem Hunter. So it's a pleasure and it's our bliss that we have got him as a, as an inaugurator. And the person who is the RP today is yet another gem for us. Today's gem 2 is handled by TP Johnson sir from Pathanamthitta district, Tiruvalla. He is an SRG and he has undergone many courses, what this welcome speaker has already said. That also gives us immense pleasure. I don't prolong my speech. All the best for this program. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your high-priced words. With glory and esteem, let me invite Mr. E.K. Suresh Kumar, sir, who was the former Deputy Director of Education and also a good poet. He initiated many projects like Save Student Army for Vivid Environment, which is an environmental educational project. He now works as the principal at Vedavyasa Vidyapeetham in Calicut district. Sir, please.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Narayan Master. Good morning, Johnson sir, and my dear students. English has been gaining more and more importance at the national and international level during the last 2 decades. However, the teaching of English has been far from satisfactory, particularly at the school level. The situation thus necessitates training of who are already in service and for students. Here is a good model. I'm very glad to be part of this English language training, which is going to be inaugurated now. The English Graduates Association took all the initiative to start such a unique program, and the participants are really lucky and should be thankful for that. They try to make English grammar enjoyable. Language acquisition program has reached the 32nd episode. A gem, a precious stone, makes grammar easily managed. I congratulate all the office bearers, particularly Padekandi Narayan Master, for initiating such a marvelous project, and congratulating all the students for their spectacular performances, the master of ceremony and welcome speech and the prayer. This type of training provides multi-dimensional opportunities for our students and teachers as participants of this program. It helps them to empower all teachers and students of English to help and enable the teachers and students to grow and develop in the language acquisition. It helps them to familiarize the teacher and student of English with modern methods and techniques of teaching English. And it helps to initiate the teachers and students into a path of self development, and it improves the standard of English among learners, and it helps to develop a collaborative work culture among teachers and students. The training gives emphasis to students. The teachers has to take greater responsibility as is laying the foundation knowledge of the English language. You know, great harm will be done to the children if the method of teaching English is wrong. Language learning is chiefly a matter of forming new habits. If the teacher has not taken great care in the formation of correct language habits, it would result in undesirable consequences. Wrong habits formed at this stage last through life and are hard to remove later. Therefore, the foundation knowledge of the language should be correct, strong, and firm. For this, the teachers of English should be unmistaken. Constant learning is necessary for the teachers and students. They should use modern teaching and learning methods and language acquisition programs and techniques. They should give adequate attention to create all the four basic skills: listening, speaking, reading, and writing. That is why this training. I'm glad to be invited for this program, and I declare this Lab 32 as inaugurated. I know today's topic is passive voice. Is it audible? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Sir,
Very
sir,
much
audible,
audible.
audible, very audible.
Audible.
Make it effective. When I remember when I was a student in a high school, the only grammar I remember to have studied not only but also in a passive voice. And Rama killed Ravana like that. We have been killing Ravana by Rama for a long time. The objective of education is to make students active, but the schools are making them passive nowadays. With traditional structure method, grammar is taught, which is really boring to students. Really, grammar is to be caught, not to be taught. Let this program be catchy for the participants. All the best wishes. Thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you so for your invaluable words. We always reminisce your words. Now, I'd like to invite our humble and respected resource person, Mr. T.P. Chandan Sir, for FRG. He's a state resource person and an eminent English teacher. He has undergone many courses and now he has just completed a course in Regional Institute of English in Bangalore. Sir, please.
Mute your mic. Your mic is mute, sir. Don't
I'm
see, sir.
sorry. So thank you, Dida, for welcoming me. Okay, respected Padakindarayanamma, our respected inaugurator Suresh Kumar sir, my dear teachers and my very dear students. So I'm very happy to be here because today we have almost 74 participants in this meet from across Kerala. So of course that's a very motivating or encouraging thing. And I also feel privileged that I was the one and only person who have got another chance to interact with you uh, uh, in the meet. Okay, so I if I'm sure, I think I had a session with you in the fifth lap. So now some months have passed and we have come to the 32nd lap. So on behalf of all the teachers here, I welcome all the kids. On my personal behalf also, I welcome all the kids. Language has got two aspects. One is the literature. Literature in the sense, am I audible, sir?
Yeah,
Yes,
sir,
sir.
very much audible.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, so it has got a literature side. That means where you learn stories or read stories, poems, one-act plays, anecdotes, or things like that. That is the literature part. The other part is actually, or the other aspect of languages is the grammar. There are many things, but mainly we can that is language. The other one part is literature, and the other is language. And language part of language deals with many aspects, and one among the aspects that is dealt in language is the grammar, or we call it as syntax. Then there are many other aspects like production of speech sounds, then morphemes, morphology, things like that. But today, so in learning a particular language, languages are governed by certain rules and regulations. Any language in the world. But when we think about our Malayalam language, which is our mother tongue, we learned all these things. Not we didn't learn all the rules before we started to speak or write. Most of you may have started speaking, at least uttering a sentence, maybe most probably at the age of 1 or 1.5 years. We all have started talking Amma enikku vechakunu, Amma paal venam. We have started making pretty small sentences or expressions because that was there in our blood. That language, Malayalam language, was there in our blood. We got it hereditary. But when we come to the schools, we have to learn new languages. So English is one such language. Then Hindi, when you come to fifth standard, you have to start with learning our national language, Hindi. Or in some other schools, we have some other languages to be learned, taught and learned. So any language in the world have a set of principles which governs the language, which governs the use of language. That is what we generally call it as grammar or the syntax. And today, I would like to discuss with you. Not I'm going to teach you anything. I just want to discuss or share with you or interact with you as some aspects of passive voice. So before we get into the thing, I would like to say you one thing. In the beginning, the anchor of our meet today's anchor made made a quote of I think Stevenson, right? Diyuda, Diyuda.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, what was that quote? Could you please repeat that once again?
Okay, sir.
Oh, of course. Thank you.
Tell me and I forget. Teach me and I remember. Involve me and I learn. It's
Yes.
the famous words from Benjamin Franklin.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Benjamin Franklin. So I'll just rewrite that in another way, or I will reconstruct that. I hear, I forget. I see, I remember. I do, I understand. So this is the basic principle. You can say to some extent is the basic principle of learning. So when whatever you hear, we forget. Whatever we see, we sometimes remember. But whatever we do, we understand. That means practice is very necessary in the process of learning. So whatever we learn or whatever we discuss in through these meets, we have to practice it. We have to do the exercises given by the teachers, even at school or no, like classes like this or sessions like this. So, are you all okay? Are you all happy?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Okay, fine, fine. I know some of most of these names are so familiar to me. Devananda, yeah, many faces are Deepak, Karun, Gargi. Okay, also, most of these faces are familiar to me because I was there part of this. Okay, shall we uh, get into the passive voice directly? Shall we?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine, fine. Our Suresh Kumar sir told Rama killed Ravana, isn't it? We have been killing Ravana for a pretty long time. So that is a very popular example of passive voice. Okay, let us see what passive voice is. I'm going to share my screen. Tell me whether you could see it or not. Is my screen visible to you?
Yes.
Sure, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
fine, fine. Thank you, thank you. See, look at these sentences. I know him. Smoke filled the room. Release the prisoner. They built this bridge in 1970. Columbus discovered America. The task is you have to begin the sentences with the phrase or word given in bracket. That means the first one, I know him, you have to rewrite that sentence beginning with he. Can somebody attempt it? Or I'll do it for you. He is known to me. I know him, he is known to me. What about the second one?
The room was filled with smoke.
Yeah,
The
the
room was filled
room.
with smoke.
Yeah, the room.
Was filled with smoke.
The room
I,
was
I,
filled with smoke.
the room was filled with smoke. Okay, good, fine. The next third one.
The prisoner was released.
The
Was
prisoner
released.
was released. Any other options?
The prisoner
The
must be
prisoner had been released.
The prisoner must be released. Okay. Then any other options?
Prisoner had been released.
Pardon, I'm sorry.
The prisoner had been released.
The prisoner had been released. Okay. Any other? Okay. Let me say my version and we'll come to a conclusion later. Okay. Let me say my version of that.
okay. So go on.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let the prisoner be released. Okay, fine. We will come to it later. Let it be there. Yeah. Then fourth one, they built this bridge in 1970.
This bridge was built in 1970.
Yeah, this bridge was built in 1970. Yeah. Columbus discovered America.
America,
America was
America was
discovered by Columbus.
discovered by
Very good, very
Discovered by
good.
Columbus.
Yeah, very good, very good. So I couldn't see your faces since I'm see your icons. Since I can't see. I don't know who all responded it. So anyway, thank you to all. So what you have said almost is right. We will come to it later. Okay. You know, look at these sentences. I know him. He is known to me. Smoke filled the room. The room was filled with smoke. Release the prisoner. Let the prisoner be released. They built this bridge in 1970. This bridge was built in 1970. Columbus discovered America. America was discovered by Columbus. Do you find any change in these two sentences? When we say I know him, he is known to me. Is there any change in the meaning or the idea?
yes,
Is there
it's
any
no,
change in the sense in the idea, not in the structure? Do you find
no,
any no
No,
no
no.
no change, isn't it?
There are
No.
changes in the words.
Yeah, it's in the structure of the words or structure of the sentence we make some changes. But there is no change in the meaning or the content or the idea expressed through that sentences. Okay, fine, very good, very good. Smoke filled the room was filled smoke. So when we take both the sentence, um, the room was filled, it was by smoke, the smoke filled the room. When you take the second sentence, the room was filled with what? With smoke. So no change in the idea or the meaning or the content of the expression. But you could find some structural changes. അല്ലെ, വാക്യഘടനയിൽ ചില മാറ്റങ്ങൾ നമുക്ക് അവിടെ കാണാം. അർത്ഥതലത്തിൽ there is no change. Is it clear to you?
Very much clear,
Yes,
sir.
yes,
Yeah,
sir.
very good, very good.
Yes,
See,
sir.
yeah, when you analyze, when you take a sentence, the sentence has got, main three main constituents. If you take a sentence, any sentence, you can have three main constituents. It may not be always there, three may not be there. If it has three, then we call it as a particular type of sentence. If it has only two, then we call it as another type of sentence. Anyway, generally speaking, we can say that a sentence has got three main constituents. What are they? The subject, the verb, and the object. And that is the normal English sentence structure: subject, verb, object. Or that is the order of the sentence: SVO. Now, when you come to Malayalam language, the order changes. It is SOV. Subject comes first, then comes object, then comes the verb. Shall I want to say one example? Rama,
Please, sir, can you?
yeah, of course. Rama killed Ravana. So Rama, subject. Killed, verb. Ravana, object. When we translate that into Malayalam, Raman Ravanane konnu. See, the object occurs in second position in the sentence. So in English sentence, in sentences in English takes SVO order. And in Malayalam, it is SOV, SVO and SOV. I just mentioned it. Okay, so these are the three main constituents of a sentence. It may not be always there. There won't be all these three in every sentences in English. No, but generally speaking, I told you, we can have these three main constituents. മൂന്ന് ഘടകങ്ങളാണ് ഒരു ഇംഗ്ലീഷ് വാചകത്തിന് ഉള്ളത്. അത് subject, verb, object. Let us see what are these subjects. What is a subject actually? A subject is a person or a thing that is doing an action, or the person or the thing that is the focus of the sentence. Let us go back to the previous examples. I know him, which is a subject. Yeah, we'll come to that. So, subject is the person. So, what is the subject?
I.
Yeah, yeah. In the sentence, in the first sentence, subject is the I, because we are speaking about, or the focus of the sentence is on I. So I is the subject. Yes, നമ്മൾ കർത്താവ് എന്ന് പറയും. ക്രിയ ചെയ്യുന്ന വ്യക്തിയാണ് കർത്താവ്. അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ആരെ അല്ലെങ്കിൽ എന്തിനെ പറ്റി പറയുന്നുവോ പരാമർശിക്കുന്നുവോ അതാണ് ഒരു വാചകത്തിലെ കർത്താവ് അല്ലെങ്കിൽ സബ്ജക്ട്, or simply we can say the doer of the action. So when discussing, or when we are interacting or discussing passive voice, this subject is very important. That's why I just want to introduce what a subject is. So subject is a person or the thing that is doing an action, or the person or the thing that is the focus of the sentence. What is being, or about whom or what something is being said in a sentence. Is it clear to you?
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes,
fine,
sir.
fine. Okay. Now, can you pick out the subject of the given sentences? First one: an engineer is supervising the work.
Engineer.
An
Engineer.
engineer. I am
engineer.
sorry, that sentence is I am very sorry. Sorry. Let me. Yeah. Is my screen visible to you?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes,
fine,
sir.
fine, fine. Yeah. Okay, thank you. Yes. Did the boy's father submit the petition? That should be a question mark. I forgot. Sorry. It's a typing mistake. Yeah. Did the boy's father submit the petition? Which is the subject of that sentence?
Boy's father.
Yeah, the boy's. Yeah, very good. Very good. Very good. Tolstoy wrote War and Peace.
Tolstoy.
Yeah, yeah. The earthquake caused a lot of harm.
The
Earthquake.
Earthquake, quake, not quick. The quake. The earthquake. Okay, fine, fine. Someone hit him on the road.
Someone.
Very good.
Someone.
Yeah.
Someone.
Yeah, very good, very good. Exactly. Keep quiet.
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 Quiet. Quiet. Okay, fine.
Quiet.
Any other suggestions? Keep quiet. What is the subject of that sentence? Somebody said you, but I haven't written that you anywhere there. I just wrote, keep quiet.
Sir, when we say keep quiet, we don't say you keep quiet. We say keep quiet.
Exactly, very good. What's your name, please? Your name, please?
Zaid.
I'm sorry?
Zaid.
Okay.
Z-A-I-D.
Yeah, thank you, thank you. Yes, the implied subject is you, and it is a particular kind of sentence called the imperative. It's an order or a command. So, in imperatives, we normally, avoid the subject. So, you keep quiet. That's actually, so you is the subject. Okay, good, fine, fine. So, yeah, so now we have got some idea about what the subject of a sentence. Didn't you?
Okay, sir.
Yeah. So when what you have to do, when you read your textbook, you come across many sentences, and if you want to get more idea about what a subject is, then you have to identify all the subjects in the sentences you read from the text. So that will help you. Don't think that the subject of a sentence always comes in the front, in the first part of the sentence. No, it may not be like that. It may be sometimes preceded by some phrases or something else. So, whenever you read your textbook, you have to pick out or just mark it, or just underline the subjects. And if you doubt, you can check it with your teachers. Do you have any doubts? Okay, is it clear to you? So that will help you to identify or know more about or learn more about the subject. Is it okay?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, then fine, fine. So the second thing is verb. Verb is the second constituent of a sentence. What is a verb?
An action word.
It's an action, very good action word. Then
The word which represents the action.
the word which represents the action, very good.
Yeah, they are
The
very
doing
good.
of someone.
Pardon, I'm sorry.
The doing of someone.
The doing, okay, the doing word, okay, the doing word in a sentence, okay. Yes, yes, I'm sorry. Yeah, yeah, I couldn't get it correctly. Anyway, it's okay, fine. Okay, let us see what a verb is. Now, a verb is a word that tells what someone or something does in a sentence. As I told, it's an action word. It's a word of being. John is a teacher. Which is the verb in that? John is a teacher.
Teacher.
Which is the verb in that
No.
sentence?
Is.
No, my question. Yeah, is.
Is.
And what is the action? Expressed in that sentence? Is there any action mentioned in that sentence? When you say John is a teacher, is there any action?
The verb is
No.
and the action is teach.
Yeah, it is the action that he does. But do we mention that in that particular sentence? John is
No,
a
no.
no, no. We are
No.
only saying about the state of being. Like, നമ്മൾ
Yes.
ആകുന്നു ആകുന്നു എന്നാ പറയുന്നത് അല്ലേ? ജോൺ ഒരു അധ്യാപകൻ ആകുന്നു.
Yeah. We never mentioned what he's actually doing.
Yeah, what he has. Yeah, exactly, exactly. What he is actually doing. So, with no verb doesn't mean that it should always has some action. No, no need. It can sometimes be a state of being. But normally we say it's an action word or a, and it can be a word of being. ആയിരിക്കുന്ന അവസ്ഥ. ദൈവം സത്യമാകുന്നു. God is truth. There is no action there in that sentence. But we are saying of a particular state of being. So it expresses an action, sometimes an occurrence or a state of being. Look at the examples. Jason built an excellent website. There, built, that is an action. So that is the verb. Look at the second one. It has many links. That is an occurrence in the website. And look at the third one. He is proud of it. It states about the state of being. So Mr. Jason or Jason is proud of the website that he made. So simply when we say verb is an action word or a word of being, it expresses an action or an occurrence or a state of being. Okay, good, fine. Now can you pick out the verbs in these sentences? First one
The verb in the first sentence is or
is
supervising.
supervising, right? Isn't it?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Second one,
To
Submit,
submit.
submit. The third, yeah, third sentence,
wrote,
wrote. Yeah, very good, very good, very good. Fourth sentence,
caused,
Cost.
yeah. Fifth
Cause.
sentence,
hit,
Hit.
sixth sentence, sixth one.
keep,
Keep.
Yes, yes, very good, very good. Exactly what you said is exactly right. Okay, fine, fine. You know, an English verb has got five forms. Why I'm discussing all these things because we know we need these things when we come to passive voice. That's all. These are introductory things. So an English verb has got five forms. Look at this. What are the five forms? One is called the base form, or we call it as in modern grammar we call it as V1. Then we have an S form. That means base plus S or ES. We get the S form. Then we have an ing form or the present participle form. That is ing form. Verb, base plus ing. Then we have another form called the past tense form, base plus d or ed. In modern grammar, it is called to be V2. And the last one, the fifth form is past participle, which shows completed actions, fully completed actions. And in modern grammar, it is called to be V3, cooked. To cook, cooks, cooking, cooked, cooked. Then again, look at the words given, the five forms of the verb given on the right side. The sing, sings, singing, sang, sung. So which are the five forms? Which are the five forms?
base form,
Base
S
form,
form,
S
I
form,
ing,
ing, past
past
tense, past participle.
Tense and past.
Yeah, right, exactly. So among these five forms, the base, the past tense, and the past participle are called to be the primary forms of a verb. The primary forms. So there are five forms for an English verb, and among these five forms, the base form, the past tense form, and the past participle form are considered to be the primary forms of a verb. So when we write a verb, we only write the base, the past tense, and the past participle, isn't it? Right? Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yes, sir.
Okay. 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 Then now look at these two sentences. These two boxes. Cook, cooked, cooked. How is the past tense form?
Good.
Yeah. How is it formed?
ED.
Adding ed.
Yeah. Very good. Very good. Adding ed. So they form certain verbs form. Yeah. Exactly. Exactly. Certain verbs form their past tense in a regular way. That means by adding d or ed to the base. Such verbs are called irregular verbs. Sorry, regular verbs. What are they called?
Regular
Regular verbs.
Yeah, regular
verbs.
verbs. And some others form their past tense and past participles, the primary forms, in a different way, or they have different forms in the V1, in V2, and V3. So such verbs are called opposite of regular, irregular verbs. അതായത് ഇംഗ്ലീഷിൽ ചില ക്രിയകളുടെ ഭൂതകാല രൂപവും പൂർണ്ണ ഭൂതകാല രൂപവും അതാണ് പാസ്റ്റ് പാർട്ടിസിപ്പിൾ. ഇത് രണ്ടും ഉണ്ടാകുന്നത് ഡി ഇ ഡി എന്ന് പറയുന്ന സഫിക്സ് ചേർത്തിട്ടാവും. അത്തരം വേർബുകളെ വി കോൾ ഇറ്റ് ആസ് റെഗുലർ വേർബ്സ്. Play, played, played. But there are certain other verbs which have different forms in their past tense and past participle. For example, sing, sang, sung, come, came, come, bring, brought, brought, buy, bought, bought, swim, swam, swum. Okay, if you say some verbs, I'll tell you all the five forms. Say one word, one verb.
Right.
Write, writes, writing, wrote, written. Is it regular or pardon? I'm sorry.
Feed.
Feed, feeds, feeding, fed, fed.
Cool.
Pardon?
Cool.
COOL, cool, right?
Yes.
It's
Yes,
not
sir.
a yeah, it's not a verb, it's an adjective. I'm sorry.
Put.
Put, puts, putting, put, put.
Glide.
Pardon?
Glide.
Glide, glides, gliding, glide, glide. I think it's like that. Glide, glide. Sorry, glided, glided. Sorry, I'm sorry. Glide, glides, gliding, glided, glided. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Strike.
Scroll.
Pardon.
Scroll.
Strike.
I didn't
Scroll.
get it. Scroll, scroll, scrolling, scrolled, scrolled.
Strike.
Strike.
Strike, strikes, striking, stroke, strike, stroke.
Read.
Or sorry, stricken, stricken. So not stroke, stricken, stroke. Yes.
Read.
Read, read, reads, reading, read, read. You remember the read that word? It has the same spelling in both V2 and V3. But we differentiate whether it is V3, V2 or V1 or V2 by the pronunciation. Read എന്ന് പറയുന്ന verb നമ്മൾ ശ്രദ്ധിക്കേണ്ട ഒരു കാര്യമാണ്. കാരണം റീഡിന്റെ spelling is the same in all the three primary forms. That is in V1, V2 and V3. So we differentiate it by, or we distinguish it by the pronunciation, the utterance of the word. So in the present it is read, or in the base form it is read, and in the V2 it is read. The spelling is READ itself. Okay, fine.
Clean.
Pardon?
Clean.
Spell that
Clean.
word. CLEAN. Clean, cleans, cleaning, cleaned, cleaned.
Run.
Run, runs, running, ran, run.
Stand.
Stand, stands, standing, stood, stood.
Ram.
Pardon?
Ram.
I'm sorry, Deepak, I couldn't get you.
Ram. Ram. RAM.
Meaning?
To actually, ram a car, what is that?
Ram.
Ram.
I'm into something.
Wait. One second. Ram. See, I have to refer that. Because I'm sorry. RAM, RAM.
Yeah.
Then maybe most probably it is ram, rams, ramming, rammed, rammed. Anyway, I have to check that. Sorry.
Yeah. I gotta take a look at it too. I don't know much about that word, but I use it quite often. I just want to know if I'm using it the right way.
Yeah, I don't know. We will check it later. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Okay, fine. Thank you.
Dress.
GUES.
Dress.
DRESS.
DRIFT.
DRIST. What is the pronunciation?
DRIFT.
ISP.
IFT.
DRISE. Am I right?
Sir, you drift a car. Drift.
I'm sorry. I couldn't
Sir,
get it.
drift.
Wait. 1 second. Yeah, drift. Yeah, drift, drifts, drifting, drift. Ah, very good. I'm sorry. I couldn't get that last sound. That's why. Drift, drifts, drifting, drifted. Sorry, drifting, drifted. Okay.
Rust.
Rest, rest, resting, rested. So shall we go ahead?
Yes, sir, we should go
Okay,
ahead.
fine. Okay. So think about the 5 forms of the verbs. The primary forms are V1, V2, and V3. Okay, fine. Then what is an object? The third constituent of a sentence is the object. What is an object? An object in a sentence is something that is affected by the action of a verb, or whoever or whatever receives that action. Look at the dog ate the bone. Who receives the action? The bone. So we can easily find out the object of a sentence by just asking the question who or what. The dog ate what?
Born.
The bone. The singer sings what?
A song.
Yeah. The writer writes a book. The writer writes what?
A
A
book.
book.
A book. Isn't it?
Book.
Yeah. Teacher scolded Meena. Teacher scolded whom or who?
Bina.
Bina.
So it is very easy for you to find out the object from a sentence. You just ask, object is a sufferer or the person or the thing that is affected by the action of the verb. ക്രിയയുടെ പ്രവൃത്തിയുടെ ഫലം ചെന്നെത്തിച്ചേരുന്നത് ആരിലാണോ അത് ആ വാക്യത്തിലെ കർമ്മം. ദാറ്റ് ഇസ് എ മലയാളം ടേം ഫോർ ഒബ്ജക്ട്. കർമ്മം, കർത്താവ്, ക്രിയ, കർമ്മം. യെസ്. So the object provides the answer to. So now can you pick out the objects in these sentences? An engineer is supervising the work. An engineer is supervising what?
The work.
The work.
The work.
The boy's father submit what?
The petition.
Petition.
Petition. Tolstoy wrote what?
War and peace.
War and peace.
And
Yeah, exactly. The earthquake caused what?
A lot of harm.
A lot of harm. Yes. Someone hit him.
On the road.
Someone hit
On the road.
whom? So sorry. No.
Him.
I'm sorry. Wait. Someone hit whom?
Him.
So him is the object there. And for keep quiet, there is no object. Okay, fine. Very good. Then, sometimes a sentence can have more than one object. And one of the object will be the direct object to the verb, and the other will be the indirect object. So direct object and indirect object. Look at the example. He offered a flower to her. He offered what? To whom? To whom? To her. Look at the second example. He gave them a bag full of money. He gave what?
Them.
bag.
Bag full of money.
Listen. He gave them. He gave what? What did he give?
Money.
Bag full of money.
Bag full of money. To whom?
Them.
Them. Very good. My father bought us a new TV set. What did my father bring? Buy
New TV set.
a new TV set.
TV set.
For whom?
Us.
For us. Them.
So you can easily identify the indirect object from a sentence. It is not in the position where it occurs. No, it's by identifying what is the direct and the indirect object. Because when we put sentences to passive, you can either use the direct object or the indirect object. Both are correct. For example, when we put the first sentence into passive, A flower was given to her, or she was given a flower. Both are correct. So that's why I just want to mention what direct object and indirect object. So the indirect object identifies a person or thing for whom or what the action of the verb is performed. ആർക്ക് വേണ്ടി ചെയ്തു, എന്തിനു വേണ്ടി ചെയ്തു, അതാണ് indirect object. And the indirect object is usually a person or a thing. ഒരു വസ്തുവോ വ്യക്തിയോ ആവാം. And how will you find out the indirect object of a sentence? It provides the answer to whom or for whom. Look at this. He offered a flower. He offered, or whom did he offer the flower?
To her.
So that is the indirect object. So what did he offer? That is the direct object. To whom?
To her.
Yeah, that is the indirect object. Look at the second one. He gave them a big, yeah, exactly. He gave them a bag full of money. He gave what?
A bag full of money.
That is a direct object. To whom?
Money. Them.
Them. That is a indirect object. My father bought us a new TV set. My father bought what?
A new TV set.
That is the direct object. Yeah, that is the direct object. For whom?
As us.
For them. Yeah, for them. Yeah, for them. Yes. So hope you got an idea about what direct and indirect objects are. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, yes, sir. Fine. Okay. Then transitive and intransitive verbs. That is also related with passive. What is a transitive verb?
No.
A verb that takes an object. If a sentence or if a verb takes an object with it in a sentence, then that verb is called to be a transitive verb. In Malayalam, we say sakarmakam. എന്താണ്?
Subkarmakam.
The word sa means with. സായുടെ അർത്ഥം കൂടിയ, ഉള്ള എന്നാണ്. കർമ്മം ഉള്ള ക്രിയയെ നമ്മൾ എന്ത് പറയുന്നു? സകർമ്മകം എന്ന് പറയുന്നു. സ. John wrote a letter. Is that verb wrote a transitive one?
Letter.
No. My question is, John writes a letter. Did you get the sentence? John writes a letter. My question is whether that verb writes is transitive or intransitive. Transitive. Why?
Writes a letter.
Because writes takes a letter as its objective. So whenever a verb in a sentence takes an object or objects, then it is said to be transitive. മനസ്സിലായോ മക്കളെ എന്താണ്?
ഇല്ല.
No, I'll explain it. Yes, when you take a sentence, and if that sentence or if that the verb in that sentence, if it has got an object in it, then it is called to be transitive. രാമൻ രാവണനെ കൊന്നു. അത് ട്രാൻസിറ്റീവ്. അതിനകത്ത് കൊന്നു എന്നുള്ളതാണല്ലോ ക്രിയ, ആണല്ലോ. ആ കൊന്നു എന്നുള്ളതിന്റെ ഫലം അനുഭവിക്കാൻ അവിടെ ഒരാളുണ്ടോ?
ഉണ്ട്.
ആരാണത്? അങ്ങനെയാണെങ്കിൽ നമുക്ക് ഇങ്ങനെ കൺക്ലൂഡ് ചെയ്യാം. രാമൻ രാവണനെ കൊന്നു. അതിലെ കൊന്നു എന്ന് പറയുന്ന ക്രിയ ഒരു ട്രാൻസിറ്റീവ് വെർബാണ്, സകർമ്മക ക്രിയയാണ്. ഉണ്ടോ? അതാ ഞാൻ പറഞ്ഞത്, സ കർമ്മകം, കർമ്മം ഉള്ള അല്ലെങ്കിൽ കർമ്മം അടങ്ങിയ ക്രിയ. അതിനെ നമ്മൾ എന്ത് പറയുന്നത്? ട്രാൻസിറ്റീവ് verb. All the examples that we studied, and an engineer is supervising the work, and the verb is supervising is transitive because it takes the object, the work. Look at this one. There should be a question here. Did the boy's father submit? Is there a is object in this?
Yeah. Petition.
Yes. Which is the object?
Petition.
The petition.
Petition.
So we can say the verb submit is transitive. Tolstoy wrote what?
War and Peace.
War and
What?
Peace. And War and
War
Peace is
and
the
Peace.
object. Yeah, exactly.
And
War. Yeah. Yes, 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 yes. So War and Peace. So War and Peace is the object of this sentence. So we can say the verb wrote is transitive.
Transitive.
The earthquake caused a lot of harm. Is there any object in this sentence?
A lot of harm.
A lot of harm. So we can say that the verb caused is transitive. Someone hit him on the road. Someone hit whom?
Yeah.
Him. So is there an object here?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Then, yes, very good. Then we can say the verb hit is what? Transitive. So now you got what transitive verbs are?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Is
sir.
it clear? You just, when you take a sentence, you just ask who or what with the verb. He offered what? A flower to her. So that is the object. Then that verb offer is a transitive verb. He gave them a bag full of money. He gave them what? A bag full of money. So that is the object. So the verb gave takes an object. So it is a transitive verb. My father bought us a new TV set. My father bought what? A new TV set. So a new TV set is the object of that sentence. So the verb bought takes is a transitive verb. Is it clear?
Clear, sir.
Yes, sir.
Oh, fine, fine. Okay, good, good, good. Okay, now look at the second example. Birds fly in the sky. Birds fly what? Is there any answer to that question?
No.
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 Yeah. That means here in this sentence, the word fly is intransitive. Transitive and intransitive are opposite ideas, opposite concepts, isn't it? Transitive opposite is intransitive.
അതെ
അല്ലേ നമ്മൾ ഇന്ന അണ്ണ അല്ലേ ഇല്ല ഇറ ഒക്കെ ചേർത്ത് എന്തുണ്ടാക്കും
അതിന്റെ ഓപ്പോസിറ്റ് വേർഡ്
ഓപ്പോസിറ്റ് ഉണ്ടാക്കും അല്ലേ അല്ലേ ഇറ് ചേർത്ത് IR. Can you say one example?
Irregular.
Yeah, regular, irregular. Very good. Then IL,
Illustration.
literate, illiterate. Legal, illegal. Then IM, possible,
Immortal.
impossible. Mortal, immortal. Very good, very good. Then unbelievable, unbelievable. Do, undo, believe, believable, unbelievable. Happy, unhappy, yes, things like that. Then dis,
disappear.
appear, disappear,
Like, dislike.
like, dislike, yes, very good. So transitive is the opposite. I'm sorry.
Dismounted.
Mount, dismount, yes.
Assemble, disassemble.
Assemble, disassemble. I don't think it's that. Assemble, dispersed. That is the actual opposite of it. Assemble, disperse. Assemble meaning come together. Disperse meaning depart. Okay. So if transitive is a verb that takes an object, then intransitive is. And what is intransitive?
The opposite of transitive.
Yeah. So intransitive, it has an object. So in intransitive, it does not have an object. Is it right?
Yes, sir.
So, yeah. So an intransitive verb does not take an object. For example, birds fly in the sky. The child cries. These are examples. So transitive and intransitive. Is that much clear to you?
Yes, sir. Very much
Fine.
clear.
Okay. Fine. Okay. Transitive verbs. That means a verb with an object. That is transitive verb. Has two voices. They are the active voice and the passive voice. That means, in a transitive verb, there is a subject and there is an object. So we can make the sentence either using the giving importance to the subject or to the object. That's why they have got two voices. ഇല്ലേ? ഒരു ട്രാൻസിറ്റീവ് ഒരു സകർമ്മക ക്രിയയിൽ കർത്താവും ഉണ്ട് കർമ്മവും ഉണ്ട്. അപ്പൊ കർത്താവിന് പ്രാധാന്യം കൊടുത്തുകൊണ്ട് നമുക്ക് ആ വാചകത്തെ പരാമർശിക്കാം, കർമ്മത്തിന് പ്രാധാന്യം കൊടുത്തുകൊണ്ട് നമുക്ക് ആ വാചകത്തെ പരാമർശിക്കാം. അതുകൊണ്ടാണ് അതിന് ട്രാൻസിറ്റീവ് വെർബിന് രണ്ട് വോയിസ് ഉണ്ടെന്ന് പറയുന്നത്. ഫോർ എക്സാമ്പിൾ, ലുക്ക് അറ്റ് ദ എക്സാമ്പിൾ ഹിയർ. ഷേക്സ്പിയർ wrote Hamlet. ഇവിടെ ആർക്കാ പ്രാധാന്യം? Shakespeare. Who is Shakespeare? Yeah, who is Shakespeare in the sentence? Subject or the doer of the action, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Then come to the second one. Hamlet was written by Shakespeare. We give importance to what?
Hamlet.
Yeah, the book he wrote, Hamlet. Yeah.
Hamlet.
And what happens to Shakespeare? Shakespeare becomes passive. അല്ലേ? രണ്ടാമത്തെ വാചകം നമ്മൾ നോക്കുമ്പോൾ പ്രാധാന്യം ഏറ്റവും മുന്നിൽ നിൽക്കുന്ന ആൾക്കാരുടെ പ്രാധാന്യം അല്ലേ? അത് ഹാംലെറ്റ്. But the meaning or the idea or the content of the sentence or the concept or the idea that it conveys does not change. Only the structure changes. So, only transitive verb has two voices. അതുകൊണ്ട് സകർമ്മക ക്രിയകൾക്ക് രണ്ട് പ്രയോഗങ്ങളുണ്ട്. അതിനൊന്നിന് നമ്മൾ പറയും കർത്തരി പ്രയോഗം. കർത്താവിന് പ്രാധാന്യം കൊടുത്തുകൊണ്ട് വാക്യത്തെ പറയുക. രണ്ടാമത്തെ പ്രയോഗമാണ് കർമ്മണി പ്രയോഗം. കർമ്മത്തിന് പ്രാധാന്യം നൽകിക്കൊണ്ട് വാക്യത്തെ പറയുക. മലയാളത്തിൽ അതായത് കർത്തരി പ്രയോഗവും കർമ്മണി പ്രയോഗവും. രാമൻ പാമ്പിനെ കൊന്നു, പാമ്പ് രാമനാൽ കൊല്ലപ്പെട്ടു. രാമൻ രാവണനെ കൊന്നു, പാമ്പ് രാവണാൽ കൊല്ലപ്പെട്ടു. രാമൻ സീതയെ ഉപേക്ഷിച്ചു, സീത രാമനാൽ ഉപേക്ഷിക്കപ്പെട്ടു. Is it clear?
Clear, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, very good. Fine. So, but an intransitive verb has only one voice, and that is the active voice. Intransitive verb ഒരു വോയിസേ ഉള്ളൂ. ഏതാണത്?
Active voice.
Only active voice. They do not have passive forms because they do not take an object. So you got an what transitive, intransitive, what is active voice and passive voice. So active voice, we give importance to the actor or the action. In the passive voice, we give importance to the object. And the action or the actor became passive. അതാണ് കർത്തരി കർമ്മണി. കർത്താവിന് പ്രാധാന്യം ആക്റ്റീവ്, കർമ്മത്തിന് പ്രാധാന്യം പാസീവ്. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Fine. So shall we move on?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. See, I just want to see all of you, whether you are there in the meet. Okay, fine. Yeah, 68 are there. Okay, nice. Okay. What is active and passive voices? How can we convert a sentence from active to passive? That is a real task that we are going to discuss. ഇപ്പോഴാണ് നമ്മൾ ആ ടോപ്പിക്കിലേക്ക് വന്നത് അല്ലേ? Simply, it's not a big thing, no? It's very, very, very simple. You just have some idea or a tip. We can easily manage this active and passive voices. Simply speaking, passive voice is be plus past participle. That is be3. In mathematics, you learn different formulas, different equations. In physics or in chemistry also, you will learn about some equations or some formulas. Formulae. Yes. So this is the formula for making passive. So what is passive?
Be plus past participle.
Be plus past participle. You know what be? We will discuss what be is, and you know what past participle form is. That is the fifth form of the verb, and it shows a completed action, isn't it? Analo?
Yes.
Yes. Very good. Let us go into the details. So this is what passive voice is. Passive voice is equal to be plus past participle or V3. Okay. Be is something very important. Be is an auxiliary verb. You know what an auxiliary verb is, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. What is an auxiliary verb? Or they are otherwise called what verbs? They are also called as helping verbs.
Helping.
Yeah. That means their main function is to help the other verbs. Yeah, the main verbs, helping verbs. അല്ലേ? സഹായ ക്രിയകൾ എന്നാണ് അവയെ പറയുന്നത്. അതിൽ ആ വാക്കിൽ നിന്ന് തന്നെ നമുക്കറിയാം അവയുടെ ധർമ്മം എന്താണെന്ന്. മറ്റ് ക്രിയകളെ അല്ലെങ്കിൽ പൂർണ്ണ ക്രിയകളെ, അതാണ് നമ്മൾ പറഞ്ഞ മെയിൻ വെർബ്. മെയിൻ വെർബുകളെ ഹെൽപ്പ് ചെയ്യുക എന്നതാണ്. ഇൻ ഫോമിങ് ടെൻസ്, വോയിസ് എക്സെട്ര. ഇൻ മേക്കിംഗ് ടെൻസ്, വോയിസ്, മൂഡ് ഓർ മൊഡാലിറ്റി, അതിനൊക്കെ സഹായിക്കുന്ന ക്രിയകളാണ്. കുറേ ഉണ്ടത്. ഓൾമോസ്റ്റ് അബൌട്ട് 24 or so. Okay. I'm sorry. Yes. So these are the different forms of be. Be is, am, are, was, were, being, and being. So these verbs belong to one family. That is the be family. Be എന്ന് പറയുന്നതാണ് ഒരു പ്രധാനപ്പെട്ട ഓക്സിലിയറിയ, ഹെൽപ്പിംഗ് വേർബ്. ആൻഡ് ദീസ് ആർ ദ ഡിഫറെന്റ് ഫോംസ് ഓഫ് ബി. ബി is, am, are, was, were, being, being. Clear?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So in changing passive to in changing active to passive, we use the different forms of this be. Sometimes we use be, sometimes we use is or am or are, depending on the tense of the word. So we have to just understand what are the different forms of be. So you got the different forms of be. So which are the different forms of be?
Be.
Be
Be.
Is.
is,
Are.
am,
Was.
Are.
are, was.
Be. Is. Am. Was. Were.
Being. Been.
Okay, being and being, or being on and being. Very good, children. Nice, very good. Okay, passive voice is equal to be plus past participle. Identify the changes. Shakespeare, why I'm taking the same example, so that you could get it better. That's why I'm taking the same example. Okay, so passive voice, as we the formula or the equation is passive voice is equal to the correct form of be plus the past participle form of the word. Shakespeare wrote Hamlet. Hamlet was written by Shakespeare. Just look at this example and just think about it and identify what are the changes that comes when we change a sentence from active to passive. Just identify. Just think for a minute. ഒരു നിമിഷം ഒന്ന് ആലോചിച്ചേ. The first one is active, the second one is in the passive. What are the changes that comes?
Wrote become written.
Pardon? Yes.
Wrote become written.
Wrote is wrote becomes written. Then what is the form of wrote? Is it V1 or V2 or V3?
V2.
V2. So V2 is changed to V3.
V2.
Very good. Exactly. Yes. Then that is the important change. Yes. And we added the form
Was.
B. Was. Yeah. Was is a
Form
form
of
of
be.
B. Yeah. We used in this. Yeah. Very good. Then Shakespeare was a great man. What happened to Shakespeare? That is again another change.
We added was and by.
Yeah, we added was and by. Okay, good, very good. Then
Subject in the സ്ഥാനത്ത്
ആര് വന്നു സബ്ജക്റ്റിന്റെ സ്ഥാനത്ത്?
ഹാംലെറ്റ്.
ഹാംലെറ്റ് എന്ന് പറയുന്ന ആക്റ്റീവ് വോയിസിലെ അല്ല ആക്റ്റീവ് വേർബിലെ ഹാംലെറ്റ് എന്ന് പറയുന്ന ഒബ്ജക്റ്റ് പാസീവ് വോയിസിൽ വന്നപ്പോൾ
Subject.
very good. Yes, exactly.
The Shakespeare become object.
Pardon? I'm sorry.
The Shakespeare become object.
The Shakespeare has become the object in the passive. Okay. Let it be like that. Okay. We'll come to it, whether it is an objective or something else. Okay. Anyway, you have identified some changes. Okay. Shall we conclude it or shall we consolidate that changes? Okay, fine. Passive voice is equal to be plus past participle, that is V3. Okay. So analyze the first sentence. Shakespeare, that is the subject of the first sentence. Wrote is the verb in the first sentence in the active voice, and Hamlet is the object. Now, can you identify what happened? What happened to the active subject or the subject in the active? How was it changed?
Hamlet.
No, no. My question is
It
Shakespeare wrote
went to the rear.
Hamlet. Yeah. What happened to Shakespeare, the subject of the active verb? ആക്റ്റീവ് വെർബിന്റെ സബ്ജക്റ്റ് ആയിരുന്ന ഷേക്സ്പിയറിന് എന്നാ പറ്റി പാസീവിലേക്ക് വന്നപ്പോൾ?
It went to the rear.
It went to the rear. Very good. It became what happened?
Object.
Yeah. Object, not object actually, it is object of a preposition.
Preposition.
Or it can be a by plus agent phrase. ഇത് ഈ ബൈ പ്ലസ് ഏജന്റ് ഫ്രേസ് എന്താണെന്ന് മനസ്സിലാക്കാൻ വേണ്ടി ഞാനൊന്ന് മലയാളീകരിക്കാം. അത് രാമൻ രാവണനെ കൊന്നു. രാവണൻ രാമനാൽ കൊല്ലപ്പെട്ടു. ആ ആൽ എന്ന് പറയുന്ന പ്രയോഗമാണ് ഈ ബൈ. മനസ്സിലായില്ലേ? That means, here in the second sentence, Shakespeare is just an agent through which the action written or wrote takes place. Second sentence, Shakespeare എന്ന് പറയുന്ന ആരാണ്? He is just an agent through which that action takes place. Is it clear? Clear?
No, kind of clear. It's clear.
Yeah.
Yes.
Sir.
Then, what happens to the verb? What happened to the verb in the active verb?
It changed from V2 to V3.
Yeah, it changed. The main verb was changed to from V2 to V3. That is what you have to remember. Whenever you change a verb from active to passive, the main verb is always in the V3, in the past participle form. ഒരു സെന്റൻസിനെ നമ്മൾ പാസീവ് ആക്കുമ്പോൾ അതിലെ പ്രധാന ക്രിയ എപ്പോഴും V3-യിലായിരിക്കും. പിന്നെ എന്താണ് അതിന്റെ കൂട്ടത്തിൽ ചേർക്കുക?
Auxiliary verb.
Yeah, which one? Which auxiliary? Yeah, the correct or appropriate form of be is used. ഇവിടെ എന്തുകൊണ്ടാണ് was written ഉപയോഗിച്ചേ? We didn't use is written or am written or being written or been written. Why?
Because it's past.
Yeah, because it is past. Yeah, because it is past. So we wrote was. Then, what happened to the object in the active voice? Object in the Samboju?
Object becomes the subject.
It becomes the subject.
Yeah. So we can consolidate like this. The object in the active voice becomes the subject in the passive voice. Those terms will confuse you. Object, subject, what? No, it's very simple. Just look at this. Graphics. The Hamlet is the object of the active voice. That object is changed to the subject in the passive voice. And what happened to the subject in the active voice? The subject in the active voice became by plus agent phrase or object of a preposition.
Passive voice.
Yeah. And what happened to the verb? The verb was changed to be plus past participle. Right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's why I told you in the beginning, when we change from active to passive, there is no change in the idea or the concept of that sentence. ആ വാക്കിലെ ആശയത്തിൽ ഒരിക്കലും മാറ്റമില്ല. എന്ന് വെച്ചാൽ ഷേക്സ്പിയർ ആണ് എഴുതിയത്, ഹാംലെറ്റ് ആണ് എഴുതിയത്. എഴുത്തെന്ന് പറയുന്ന പ്രക്രിയയാണ് അവിടെ നടന്നത്, അല്ലാതെ വേറൊന്നുമല്ല. That means the meaning or the idea conveyed through the sentence or expressed through the sentence is not at all changed. Then what is changed? We make some structural changes. And what is that structural change? That is, object becomes subject, verb becomes be plus past participle, and subject becomes by plus agent phrase or object of a preposition. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Clear.
Right? Okay, okay. Fine, fine. Then this by phrase, or by plus object of a preposition is some, it is left out when the doer of the agent of the action is unknown or undefined. If it is unimportant or not important enough to be mentioned. എപ്പോഴും ഈ by, so for example, when pronouns comes, he gave me a pencil. I was given a pencil. No need to say by him. Is it clear to you?
Yes, sir.
If the object is to be specifically mentioned, then we have to use by phrase. For example, Marconi invented radio. So how will you put the passive? Put it in the passive. Marconi invented radio.
Radio was
Yes.
invented by
By
Marconi.
Marconi.
So in the radio was invented by Marconi. You cannot avoid that by phrase there in the passive. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, the by
Yes, sir.
phrase. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, fine, fine, good, good. Then changing active verb with direct and indirect objects. That is something, I have already mentioned that earlier, isn't it? When we change, if a sentence has both direct and indirect objectives, how can we put that into passive voice? Look at it. The teacher showed her a new painting. So there are two objects. Let us find out which are they. The teacher showed what?
A new painting.
A new painting.
Yeah. So what is that?
An object.
Yeah. Which object? What object? Is it direct or indirect?
Direct.
Direct object.
Direct object. Direct object.
Yeah. To whom?
To her.
To her. And what is that?
Indirect object.
To.
Direct.
Yes. Yes. Very good. Yeah. So this sentence has got a direct object and an indirect object. So we can put it in the passive either by giving importance to the direct object or to the indirect object. So if you are giving importance to the direct object, then she was shown a indirect object, then she was shown a new painting by the teacher, or a new painting was shown to her by the teacher. In such sentences, the personal pronouns or the personal object is usually preferred. That's why we say she was shown a new painting. ഈ രണ്ട് കർമ്മങ്ങൾ വരുമ്പോൾ, അതായത് ഡയറക്റ്റ് ഒബ്ജക്റ്റും ഇൻഡയറക്റ്റ് ഒബ്ജക്റ്റ് വരുമ്പോൾ, നമ്മൾ അതിനകത്ത് ഡയറക്റ്റ് ഒബ്ജക്റ്റ് സബ്ജക്റ്റ് ആക്കിക്കൊണ്ട് നമുക്ക് പാസീവിലേക്ക് ആക്കാം, ഇൻഡയറക്റ്റ് ഒബ്ജക്റ്റും സബ്ജക്റ്റ് ആക്കിക്കൊണ്ട് പാസീവിലേക്ക് ആക്കാം. അപ്പോൾ അവിടെ ഒരു പേഴ്സൺ ആണുള്ളതെങ്കിൽ, ഇഫ് ദാറ്റ് ഒബ്ജക്റ്റ് ഈസ് എ പേഴ്സണൽ object, then better use that personal object as the subject of the passage. അതിന്റെ എക്സാമ്പിൾ ആയി പറഞ്ഞ് ഇവിടെ വേണമെങ്കിൽ നമുക്ക് ഹെർ എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞു തുടങ്ങാം, എ ന്യൂ പെയിന്റിംഗ് വെച്ച് തുടങ്ങാം, അല്ലേ? പക്ഷേ ആ ഹെർ എന്ന് പറയുന്ന ഒബ്ജക്റ്റീവ് ആണ്, അതുകൊണ്ട് നമുക്ക് ഹെറിന് പകരം അതിന് ഷീ ഉപയോഗിച്ചു. ഷീ വാസ് ഷോൺ എ ന്യൂ പെയിന്റിംഗ് ബൈ ഹെർ ടീച്ചർ. ഐ എം സോറി. My screen visible to you?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Sir.
fine.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. She was shown a new painting by her teacher. Then a new painting was shown to her by the teacher. So when the active verb has both a direct and an indirect object, either may become the subject of the passive sentence. You can either use the direct object as a subject in the passive, or the indirect object as a subject in the passive voice. ഈ സബ്ജക്ട് ഒബ്ജക്ട് ഇങ്ങനെ കിട്ടി അങ്ങോട്ടും ഇങ്ങനെ കേൾക്കുമ്പോൾ കൺഫ്യൂസ്ഡ് ആവുന്നുണ്ടോ? ഹലോ, aren't you confused?
Yes.
A bit.
A bit you are confused, isn't it? See, I'll clarify that.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, look it. The teacher showed her a new painting. നിങ്ങൾ ഒന്നും ഓർക്കണ്ട മക്കളെ, ഇത്രയേ ഉള്ളൂ. ഏത് സെന്റൻസ് എടുത്താലും അതിനൊരു സബ്ജക്റ്റ് ഉണ്ട്, ഒരു ഒബ്ജക്റ്റ് ഉണ്ട്, ഒരു വെർബും ഉണ്ട്, അല്ലേ? അത് ആക്റ്റീവ് വോയിസിലാണെങ്കിൽ യു ഹാവ് ദ സബ്ജക്ട്, യു ഹാവ് ദ വെർബ് ആൻഡ് യു ഹാവ് ദ ഒബ്ജക്റ്റ്. And even if you change that into a passive one, then also it takes an object, subject, a verb, and an object. So, നമ്മൾ പറഞ്ഞത്, the changes. What is the structural change? The subject in the active voice becomes by plus agent phrase. The object in the active voice becomes subject in the passive voice, and the verb is changed to be plus past participle form. അതല്ലേ നമ്മൾ പറഞ്ഞേ?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. ഈ കേസിൽ എന്താ പ്രശ്നം? Take this sentence. Here we have two objects. One is the direct object, and the other is a indirect object. When a sentence has got a direct object and an indirect object, we can change it into passive either by using the direct object or the indirect object. മനസ്സിലായോ?
മനസ്സിലായി, sir.
Okay. Good. Yeah. So we can say the sentence, she was shown a new painting by her teacher, or a new painting was shown to her. Then we add that to the personal pronoun, the objective pronoun. ആ personal pronoun കൂടെ നമ്മൾ ടൂടെ ചേർക്കുന്നു മാത്രമേ ഉള്ളൂ. Okay. That is changing active verb with direct and indirect object. Then if the active verb is if the verb in the active voice is followed by a preposition, it should not be left out in the passive. Let it be there. Just look at the example. They looked after the children well. Which is the preposition there? Which is the verb there?
Looked.
Looked. So, it is followed by, this is a phrase. Look after is a phrase. So, looked after, when you change it into passive, you should not avoid this after. So, the children were looked after well. അവർ ആ കുട്ടികളെ നന്നായി സംരക്ഷിച്ചു. അവരാൽ ആ കുട്ടികൾ നന്നായി സംരക്ഷിക്കപ്പെട്ടു. അതാ, കുട്ടികൾ അവരാൽ നന്നായി സംരക്ഷിക്കപ്പെട്ടു. അല്ല, കുട്ടികൾ നന്നായി സംരക്ഷിക്കപ്പെട്ടു. See, people always laugh at him. Here, him is the objective. People always laugh. At whom? At him. So, he is always laughed. That is wrong. You have to retain this at also. He is always laughed at. So, if there is a preposition followed by the verb in the active voice, then we should not leave out that preposition in the passive. ആക്റ്റീവ് വോയിസിലെ വെർബിന് ശേഷം ഒരു പ്രിപ്പോസിഷൻ ഉണ്ടെങ്കിൽ പാസീവ് വോയിസിലേക്ക് ആക്കുമ്പം ആ പ്രിപ്പോസിഷനെ വിട്ട് കളയരുത്. Right?
Yes, sir.
Fine. Then, changing active verb with a clause as an object. In some sentences, it may not be a word that becomes the object of a sentence. It can be a phrase, or it can be even a clause. Look at the example. People once believed that the sun was a god. What did people believe once?
Sun was a god.
That the sun was a god, isn't it? അല്ലെ, സൂര്യൻ ഒരു ദൈവമാണെന്ന് ഒരു കാലഘട്ടത്തിൽ ആളുകൾ വിശ്വസിച്ചിരുന്നു. അപ്പൊ ഇവിടെ നമ്മൾ പറയുന്ന പോലെ ഇറ്റ് ഇസ് നോട്ട് ജസ്റ്റ് എ വേർഡ് ദാറ്റ് ഫോംസ് ദ ഒബ്ജക്ട്. It is a phrase that, or it is a clause that forms the object. ഇവിടെ that the sun was a god. അത്രയും ഭാഗമാണ് ആ സെന്റൻസിന്റെ ഒബ്ജക്റ്റീവ്. അങ്ങനെ വരുന്ന അവസരത്തിൽ that it can be replaced by another word or another pronoun called it. ആ it നമ്മൾ പറയുന്ന പേര് anticipatory it എന്നാണ് പറയുന്നത്. It can be used as a subject. And it is called anticipatory it എന്നാണ്. So it was, so how will you put that in the passive? It was once believed that the sun was a The sun on. I'm sorry. It's a typing mistake. That the sun was a god, or the sun was once believed to be a god. Look at another example. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'll tell you another example. Can you say it? One second, one second. People once thought that the earth was flat. Do I need to type that sentence? Then wait. I'll just type it out. Is it clear to you? Can you read this sentence?
Yes, sir.
Okay, wait. Yeah. People once thought what?
That the earth was flat.
Yeah, that the earth was flat. So this is the object of this sentence. ഇതാണ് ഈ വാചകത്തിലെ ഒബ്ജക്റ്റ് എന്ന് പറയുന്നത്. Instead of using this, we can use what? It ഉപയോഗിക്കാന്നാ പറഞ്ഞത്. It was thought that. So it was once thought that. Sorry, I'm sorry. It was once thought that the earth was flat. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Clear, sir.
Yes, sir.
Or we can make it in another way. The earth was once thought to be flat. No, by the people. Both are correct. It was people once thought that the earth was flat. It was once thought that the earth was flat. Or the earth was once thought to be flat. ഇത്രേ ഉള്ളൂ. ഭൂമി പരന്നതായിരുന്നെന്ന് ആളുകൾ ഒരു കാലഘട്ടത്തിൽ വിശ്വസിച്ചിരുന്നു. ഭൂമി പരന്നതാണെന്ന് ഒരു കാലത്ത് ആളുകളാൽ വിശ്വസിക്കപ്പെട്ടിരുന്നു. അതായത് yes, good. Then, look at then another important thing is when we are putting passive questions to passive.
People.
Pardon. By people ഉപയോഗിക്കാമെന്നാണോ ചോദിച്ചത്? Hello, somebody want to say something, please. Yeah, it can be avoided because if I have told you earlier, the by phrase, if it is unknown or unidentified or unimportant or not important to be mentioned, too obvious to be mentioned, then you can often leave out. Is it clear?
It's clear.
Yeah. No, ഈ by plus agent phrase എപ്പോഴും ഉപയോഗിക്കണ്ട. It is specific, only you use it. And then, yes. How do we do it? It's a question. So you have when we put questions to passive, the tense of the verb and the question form are to be retained. How do we do it? How is it done? By us ആണ് വരുന്നത്. When do they wash the car? When is the car washed? This conduct shock you? Where you shocked by his conduct? Why do people laugh at him? Why is he laughed at? So here in the passive, The question form is retained, and also the tense is also retained. Tense meaning here it is present. How do we do it? Do it is present. So how is it done? How did we do it? ആരെങ്കിലും എന്ത് വന്നാനേ? How did we do it?
How was it done?
Yeah, how was it done? When do they wash the car? When is the car washed? When did they wash the car?
When was the car washed?
Yeah, when was the car washed? Did his conduct shock you?
Were you shocked by his conduct?
Yeah, because were you shocked by his conduct? Yes, did because this is past tense, so we use was or were. Yes. Why do people laugh at him? Or why did people laugh at him? Why was he laughed at? So this is the thing, just one thing you have to remind, when you change a question to passive, then remember to retain the question form. It should be in the question format, and also you have to retain the tense of the verb. That's all. Maybe it's something confusing to you, but when you do the exercises, it will become very easy for you. Don't worry. Okay. Okay. Yes. Then another thing, imperatives. When you change imperatives, what are imperatives? Do you have any idea?
No.
No, sir.
No, sir. Okay, okay. I'll tell. Just imperatives are just a sentence which expresses orders, commands, prayer, wish, etc. അല്ലേ?
Yes,
ആജ്ഞ, ആജ്ഞ, കൽപ്പന, പ്രാർത്ഥന, ആശംസ. ഈ ആശയങ്ങൾ ഉൾക്കൊള്ളുന്ന വാചകത്തെ നമ്മൾ എന്ത് പറയുന്നത്?
imperative sentence.
ഇമ്പരേറ്റീവ്സ്. ഇമ്പരേറ്റീവ്സ് എന്ന് പറയുന്നത്. Come here. It's an imperative. Keep quiet. It's again an imperative. Hang him to death. It's again an imperative. Oh God, give us this day our daily bread. It's an imperative. So imperatives are simply sentences which expresses a command, order, or request or prayer. ഒരു ആജ്ഞയോ അപേക്ഷയോ കൽപ്പനയോ പ്രാർത്ഥനയോ വെളിവാക്കുന്ന അല്ലെ സൂചിപ്പിക്കുന്ന വാചകം. Simply. And when you change an imperative into a passive sentence, then we use the verb let. For example, I shall write it. Can you see my screen now?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. Okay, good. Look at this. RELEASE. Release. It is very easy for you to identify the imperatives because the subject of the imperative will always be you, and that is normally omitted. Imperative senses എല്ലാം subject എന്തായിരിക്കും? You ആയിരിക്കും. Come here, you come here. Keep quiet, you keep quiet. Take down the notes, you take down the notes. So always it is the second person, singular, you, or plural. So it is normally omitted. So we can easily identify an imperative sentence from another sentence, another type of sentence, because it does not take an object, subject. Okay, look at this. Release the prisoner. Release whom?
Prisoner.
The prisoner. So the release is the verb. Subject is not there because it's an imperative, and here only we have the verb and the object. Since it takes an object, then it is a transitive verb. So we can put this into passive. How to put that into passive? We add let the prisoner be released. Let the prisoner be released. Is it clear?
Clear, sir.
Yes, sir.
One more
Yes.
example. State the facts clearly. State the facts clearly. വസ്തുതകൾ വ്യക്തമായി പറയൂ. How will you say? State.
Let
Facts must
Yeah,
be stated clearly.
yeah.
Yes, sir.
Let
Let
the
state
facts be stated
clearly.
clearly. So is it clear to you?
now it
Yes,
is clear.
sir.
Sir.
Okay. Hang him to death. Hang him to death.
Let the
Let him be hanged to death.
Let him
Be hanged to death.
let him
Be hanged to death.
yeah let him
Be hanged.
handle
let him be hanged to death.
it.
അവനെ തൂക്കിക്കൊല്ലൂ. അവൻ തൂക്കിലേറ്റപ്പെടട്ടെ. മനസ്സിലായില്ലേ?
മനസ്സിലായി sir.
അത് ഈ അട്ട എന്നുള്ള പ്രയോഗമാണ് ഈ ലെറ്റ്. റിലീസ് ദ പ്രിസണർ. ആ അയാളെ മോചിപ്പിക്കൂ. അയാൾ മോചിപ്പിക്കപ്പെടട്ടെ. വസ്തുതകൾ വ്യക്തമായിട്ട് പറയൂ. വസ്തുതകൾ വ്യക്തമായി പറയപ്പെടട്ടെ. എല്ലാത്തിനും ഒരു അട്ട എന്നുള്ള പ്രയോഗമുണ്ട്. അതാണ് ലെറ്റ്. ഓക്കെ ഫൈൻ. ഓക്കെ ഗുഡ്. Oh, I'm sorry. I don't know what happened. One more simple thing we have to just go through, and then we will do the exercise. Okay, fine. This is this thing you have to just remember. See, verb form in the active voice. Total active voice. Whenever you want to change a sentence from active to passive, first of all you have to identify the verb and the object of the sentence. Verb ആണ് പ്രധാനപ്പെട്ടത്. Because we are changing the verb in the active voice is changed to be plus past participle, right? Hello?
We can
Hello?
hear you sir.
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
yeah. So first of all, you have to look onto the form of the verb. If the verb is in the base or the S form, then which of the forms of be is used? Am or is or are is used. Look at here. John writes a letter. A letter is written by John. John, okay, I'll show you another one. I'll just delete this and you have to do it in the passive. Okay, John writes a letter. Here the verb is in the which form?
S form.
S form. So what will be the passive of it?
Ed form.
Yeah, writes must be changed to the V3. That is what is no. My question is which form of be will be used? See,
Is
passive voice means passive voice is equal to
Is
equal to
B plus
ah, after
participle.
today.
which
So my question is which form of be will be used if the verb in the active voice is base or s?
is
Is
So how will it be? A
letter is
letter
is
is
being
written down.
no is written
is written
by, by
By John.
yeah
John.
exactly. And in the what about the second sentence? John writes some letters.
Some letters
Some letters is
are being written by.
Why being there? I couldn't understand. Why being you are using there?
I don't know. It felt
Yes.
right.
No. We only use are, not
Okay.
being is used.
Are
Being
written.
is used only in the continuous present participle.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Some letters are
Some letters are written by.
written by
By John.
John. Okay. So did you get it? That means if the verb in the active voice, ആക്റ്റീവ് വോയിസിലെ വെർബ് ബേസ് ഫോമിലോ എസ് ഫോമിലോ ആണെങ്കിൽ നമ്മൾ ബിയുടെ ഏതൊക്കെ ഫോംസാണ് ഉപയോഗിക്കുക? ആം എന്ന ഫോം ഉപയോഗിക്കും, ഇസ് എന്ന ഫോം ഉപയോഗിക്കും, അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ആർ എന്ന ഫോം ഉപയോഗിക്കും. റൈറ്റ്?
am എപ്പോഴാ ഉപയോഗിക്കാം?
ആം ഉപയോഗിക്കുന്ന ഐ സബ്ജക്റ്റ് ആയിട്ട് എപ്പോൾ വന്നാലും ഐ സബ്ജക്റ്റ് ആയിട്ട് വരുമ്പോൾ മാത്രം ആം ഉപയോഗിക്കും. Because am is a verb that only agrees with I. Right?
Right.
Okay. Then, if the verb is in the ing form, then which form of be is used?
Being.
Being.
മക്കളെ ഞാൻ പറഞ്ഞത് ഓർത്തു. നിങ്ങൾ ഈ ആക്റ്റീവ് വോയിസിലെ വെർബിനെ ആദ്യം നോക്കണം. അത് ബേസ് എസിലാണെങ്കിൽ ഈസ് ആർ, അത് ing ഫോമിലാണെങ്കിൽ ബിയുടെ ബീയിങ് എന്ന് പറയുന്ന ഫോം ഉപയോഗിക്കണം. V3യിലാണെങ്കിൽ ബീന് ഉപയോഗിക്കണം. വില്ലോ ഷാലു ഉണ്ടെങ്കിൽ ബി ഉപയോഗിക്കണം. ഇത്രയേ ഉള്ളൂ. ഇതാ സിംപ്ലി. ഓക്കെ നൗ. അപ്പൊ ഇവിടെ നോക്കിയേ, ജോൺ ഈസ് റൈറ്റിംഗ് എ ലെറ്റർ. Isn't it? John is writing a letter. And what is the verb? In which form it is it?
Ing.
In the ing form. If the verb in the active voice in the ing is in the ing form, then you have to use being in the passive with the past participle. Yeah. So how will you write that? Sorry.
A letter
Letter
is
Being
being
Letter is being written by John.
is being
written
written by
John.
John. Sorry. I'm sorry. Then what about the second one?
Some letters
Some
Yeah,
letters
what
are
is it?
being.
What is it? Yeah, okay. One second. What is the difference between a letter and some letters?
is a plural.
Yeah, a letter is singular and some letters is
Plural.
plural. Yeah, so some letters
are being written
Written by John.
by John.
I'm sorry. I said
By John.
yeah, written by
John.
John. Okay, fine. I only wrote J there instead of John. Okay, we'll write. There.
are being അങ്ങനെ വന്നു.
Are being എന്ത് വന്നു? കാരണം this action is continuing, isn't it? When we say John is writing some letters, good question. When we say John is writing a letter, you could see John scribbling on a sheet of paper the letter, isn't it? So when you are putting that into passive, we have no right to change the tense. So that continuity should be maintained in the passive also. And for maintaining that continuity, we use the continuous form of be, ing form of be. Is it clear?
It's clear, sir.
See,
Yes, sir.
look, John is writing a letter. That means that action is continuing, right?
Okay.
So when we put that into passive, that continuity must be retained or maintained. അത് മെയിൻറ്റെയിൻ ചെയ്യാൻ വേണ്ടിയിട്ടാണ് നമ്മൾ എന്ത് ഉപയോഗിച്ചത്? ബിയുടെ ഏത് ഫോം ഉപയോഗിച്ചു?
Being
ബീയിങ് ഉപയോഗിച്ചു. അപ്പൊ നിങ്ങൾക്ക് സംശയമുണ്ട്, ഈസ് ഇവിടെ അതും ബിയുടെ ഫോം അല്ലേ? അതെ, ഇറ്റ് ഈസ് ഓൾറെഡി ദെയർ. ഇവിടെ നമ്മൾ എന്തിനെയാ മാറ്റുന്നത്? ഈസിനെ മാറ്റുന്നുണ്ടോ? ഇല്ല. ഈ റൈറ്റിങ്ങിനെയാ മാറ്റുന്നത്. റൈറ്റിങ്ങിനെ നമ്മൾ എങ്ങനെ മാറ്റുന്നു? ഈ ഫോമിലേക്ക് മാറ്റുന്നു. ഇതിനകത്ത് നമ്മൾ ബിയുടെ ഏതാ ഉപയോഗിക്കുക?
Being.
ബീയിങ്. Is it clear?
It's clear now.
Is it clear? Who asked that doubt? It's a very good question. Why being is used? കാരണം പാസീവിൽ ഒരിക്കലും we cannot use the any other forms. Only the main verb is changed to V3 or past participle. ഈ റൈറ്റിംഗ് ഇവിടെ റൈറ്റ്സ് ആയാലും കൊള്ളാം, റോട്ട് ആയാലും കൊള്ളാം, റൈറ്റിംഗ് ആയാലും കൊള്ളാം, വിൽ റൈറ്റ് ആയാലും കൊള്ളാം. ദിസ് റൈറ്റ് വിൽ ബി ചേഞ്ച് ടു റിട്ടേൺ. ആ റൈറ്റ് എന്ന് പറയുന്ന വേർബ് എപ്പോഴും എന്തിലേക്ക് പോകണം? V3യിലേക്ക് പോകണം. അപ്പൊ ഈ V3 എന്ന് പറയുന്ന ഫോം ഉണ്ടല്ലോ, V3 എന്ന് പറയുന്ന ഫോമും ഈ ING ഫോമും ഒരു പ്രത്യേകതരം ഫോംസാണ്. അവ ഒരിക്കലും തനിയെ നിൽക്കത്തില്ല. അവയുടെ കൂട്ടത്തിൽ എപ്പോഴും എന്ത് വേണം? ബിയുടെ ഏതെങ്കിലും ഫോം വേണം, ഓക്സിലിയറി വേണം. ഒന്നെങ്കിൽ ഈസ് റൈറ്റിംഗ്, അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ആം റൈറ്റിംഗ്, അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ആർ റൈറ്റിംഗ്, അല്ലെങ്കിൽ വാസ് റൈറ്റിംഗ്. അതുപോലെ തന്നെയാണ് പാസ്റ്റ് പാർട്ടിസിപ്പിൾ ഫോംസും. ദേ വിൽ നോട്ട് go alone. They need some auxiliary to with them. Okay, fine. Then, if the verb in the active voice is in the past tense, which form of be will be used? Was or
where?
Look at this example. John wrote. This wrote is in which form?
Past form.
In the past form. So, how will you change that into passive?
A letter
Was written by John.
Written by John.
By John.
Yeah, by John. Then the next one.
Some letters.
Yeah, some letters.
Some letters were written by John.
Were written.
By John.
Yeah, exactly. Well, is it clear to you?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
You know, when you want to change a sentence from active to passive, first of all, we have to identify the object in the active. ആ ഒബ്ജക്റ്റിനാണ് നമ്മൾ സബ്ജക്റ്റ് ആക്കി കൊണ്ടുവരുന്നത്. നെക്സ്റ്റ് തിങ് ഈസ് ദ verb.
Johnson, sir.
Yeah, pardon, sir.
Sir, when did you wind up?
Yeah, at 10:50 I'll wind up.
See, it's going to be 10:50.
Yeah.
So before that, we have to set the feedbacks of the pupils.
Okay, of course, sir. I'll
So,
write it down. Yeah.
thank you,
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Then, if the main verb in the active voice is in the past participle form, then we use been. So, John had or has written a letter. How will you translate that?
A letter.
A letter
Had been.
has or had been
Written by.
Yeah. Written by
John.
Yes. If it is some letters,
Some letters.
Letters has or
has been or had been. Has been is present perfect. Had been is past perfect. Past perfect. So, if there is, or we can say in another words, if it has got has or have or had. ഇവിടെ ആക്റ്റീവ് വോയിസിൽ ഹാസോ ഹാവോ ഹാഡോ ഉണ്ടെങ്കിൽ നമ്മൾ ഏത് ചേർക്കും? ബീൻ ചേർക്കും. ഇനി വിൽ, ഷാൽ, വുഡ്, ഷുഡ്, ക്യാൻ, കുഡ്, മേ, മൈറ്റ് അങ്ങനെ പറയുന്ന ഏതെങ്കിലും ഓക്സിലറീസ് ഉണ്ടെങ്കിൽ എന്ത് ചേർക്കും?
B.
So John will write a letter. Will you make that into passive?
A letter
will be written by John.
Will be written
By John.
John. Okay. Then John will write some letters.
Some letters.
will written by John.
Will be written. John.
By
John. Yeah, exactly. John can write a letter.
A letter can be written by
Can be written by John. John could write a letter.
A letter could be written by John.
Yeah. John would write a letter.
A letter would
A letter would be written by John.
John must. Yeah, very good. John must write a letter.
A letter
Yeah,
must
Letter must be written by John.
Must be
a
written.
letter
So,
must be written by
yeah,
John.
whatever auxiliary comes, model auxiliaries comes, is it will or shall or would or should or can or could or may or might, whatever it is, you just add be with it before the past participle form. So a letter will be written. John writes a letter will be written by John. John can write a letter can be written by John. John must write a letter must be written by John. Is it clear?
yes.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes, yes, sir.
We'll do one or two exercises. It's already 10:50. We have to just you know wind it up. They are serving breakfast in the dining room. Can you make it that into passive? They are serving breakfast in the dining room.
Breakfast
Ah,
Breakfast in the
is
dining room.
being served in the dining
breakfast
room. Is
ah,
Served in the dining room.
is
is being served.
being served. Breakfast is being served in the dining room. They play rugby in the Commonwealth countries, in all the Commonwealth countries.
In all the Commonwealth countries, they
Ah,
play rugby.
no, no, no.
Mm,
They play what?
Rugby is played in
Yeah,
all the.
rugby is played in all the Commonwealth countries, or in all the Commonwealth countries, rugby is played. Because this is a prepositional phrase, we can bring it in the beginning of the sentence. No problem. You must clean your suit for the ceremony. You must clean what?
The suit.
Your suit. So you have to begin with your suit. Suit.
Your suit must be cleaned for the
Yeah,
ceremony.
must be cleaned for the ceremony. The
Seven.
authorities, yeah, exactly. The authorities are opening the town health center next week. The authorities are opening what?
The town health center.
The
Yeah,
town
the
health
town. So you
center.
have to begin with the town health center.
The town health center
Ah,
um, is
You and
open
is being
opened by the authority.
opened by the authorities
Next week.
next week.
Next week.
Very good. Nobody can beat Liverpool.
Liverpool cannot be beaten by anybody.
Yeah, Liverpool cannot be
Beat
beaten by
Beaten by
anybody. Why
nobody.
cannot? Because nobody. It's a negative sentence, isn't it? Okay. After John had repaired the car, he sold it.
after the car had been repaired by
Yeah,
John.
after the car had been repaired,
John
John sold it.
is-
Stephen King wrote the book.
the book was written by
The
Stephen
book
King.
was written
Yeah,
by
the book.
Stephen King.
Exactly, exactly. You should send the email today.
The email must be sent
Mail
today.
should be sent today.
Ah, yeah, the email should be sent today. The doctor must examine you again.
You must be
Must
examined
be
by the
Yeah,
examined by
you
doctor.
must be
You must be
examined by the
examined by the
doctor
doctor.
again. Yes, the company has produced cars since in the beginning of the century.
Since the beginning of the century,
Yeah,
Johnson sir, I think
yeah,
it
yeah.
is high time.
Okay. So I'll send you all this exercise in the group. You can do it yourself. If you have any queries or doubts, you can raise that in the group. I will try to answer it. Okay. So thank you. I feel it to be once again a great privilege for me to be with you. Yeah, be with you once again. Thank you, Narayan sir, and thank you all the office bearers of executive for giving me a chance to interact with these students. Thank you. Over to you, sir. Narayan sir. Narayan sir. Hello.
Salivate.
No, wait. Let Narayan sir come. Where is he? Who was the anger of the day? Narayan sir, he's there.
Sir,
Yes. Dida, you can now go ahead with the last. If you want to say something about the.
oh, okay, sir.
Okay. I think my answer is. Yeah.
So,
Yeah, yeah, you may continue. It's okay.
oh, okay, okay. Firstly, I thanking you, sir, for joining us. It was really an interesting and informative session. We really enjoyed the amazing taste of English language. Yeah, this is the time for word of thanks. For that, I'd like to call upon Nived S. Kumar from AUPS Udinur Central. Please, Nived.
Your grammar is a reflection of your image, good or bad. You have made an impression, and I call impressions. You are in total control. T2. And Nived Kumar.
Hello, Nive.
Of 6th standard Udru Central AUP School. First, and giving a valuable insight. Thank you so much, sir. Our sincere thanks goes to our RP, PP Johnson, sir. SRG. Insight into the topic passive voice. It was really informative and useful, sir. Thank you so much. Let me now turn to our anchor, Dia Parveen. Thank you, Dia, for your thank you, Dia. Let me now turn to SS Bhagia, who delivered a wonderful welcome speech, and to Fatima Nida, who sang a melodious prayer song. Finally, my deep sense of thanks goes to all the participants who were attended the program with great enthusiasm, and I would like to thank all who worked behind this program. Thank you, each and everyone. Have a nice day.
Sir, Dia, you can now. Narayan, sir. Okay, Dia, now you can wind up, wind up, wind up. No, no problem.
Okay, thank you, sir. We are going to wind up this program. Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. Thank you all. Thank you.